Hey folks, it's Lecturer Joe here. Today we're going to be looking at one of the most common electronic components, and that is the resistor. So this is what they look like in practice. These are some of the larger ones we get within our electronic circuits. So let's take a look at what these things are for. So let's say we have a battery and a little bulb, and we want to connect these two together, and we take a wire to there and a wire to there, and sure enough our little bulb lights up. So simplest possible electronic circuit. Now the point of a resistor is to resist the flow of electricity in a circuit. So in this case the resistor is going to try and reduce the amount of flow that occurs in this circuit, and we can do that by simply inserting a resistor into the circuit like so. So we just cut the wire and we add in this little resistor, and now because there's added resistance in the circuit, the actual amount of flow of electricity around the circuit is going to be reduced, and the result of that is that our light bulb won't be quite so bright. And if we want to make the light bulb dimmer still, we can change this resistor for a resistor of a higher value. So the bigger this resistance is, the more resistance to flow we have, then the less flow of electricity occurs and the lamp won't be as bright. And we could put a resistor in here that's so large that the lamp pretty much goes out completely. So resistors come in all different values, and I have some here, and as we'll see a little bit later, the different values are denoted by the color codes that are printed on the resistors themselves. So we have all different values on our resistors. So if we draw some big resistors here, we might find that we have a resistor with, let's say, that has a value of 22. There might be another one that has a value of 4,700. There might be another one that has a value of 680,000. And all of these are measured in ohms. So that's the unit of resistance. So 22 ohms, 4,700 ohms, 680,000 ohms. But instead of writing the word ohms all the time, we can just use the symbol, which is this. So you're going to be seeing a lot of this. Anytime we're working with resistors and we're writing down values, it's going to be 22 ohms, 4,700 ohms, that sort of thing. And we're going to have this symbol on the end of it. At this stage I should mention that there are two different symbols for the resistor itself. Some people like to draw the resistor like that. Some people like to draw it like that. So in real life the resistor looks like this, but when we're drawing electronic circuits, electrical circuits, we gotta represent the resistor with a symbol. So these are the two possible symbols for a resistor. You can use either one, but I'm going to be sticking with this one here. As we've seen, our resistors can come in a range of resistances, a range of values. If we had, for instance, a 330 ohm resistor, it would be written like this. If we had a 68,000 ohm resistor, it would normally be written as 68 kilo ohms, and this kilo refers to the 1,000. Kilo meaning times 1,000. It's possible that we could have much bigger resistors again. So if we had a 2,200,000 ohm resistor, that would be written as 2.2 mega ohms, and here the M, mega, means million, so it's really 2.2 multiplied by a million, which gives you your 2,200,000. So sometimes you'll see these values written as just ohms if it's a quite small value of resistance. If it's a bit larger, kilo ohms. If it's very large, mega ohms. Important to know at this stage that the value of resistance has no relationship to the actual size of the resistor. So these two resistors here that I have in my hand, this one is 22 ohms, and we're going to look in a moment at how I work that out, and this one is 2,200,000 ohms, and yet they're both the same size. So it's just internally how they've been constructed. Manufacturers are able to create the resistor with any value of resistance whilst keeping the physical size of the resistor the same. So just to recap, resistors are used to control the flow rate of electricity within a circuit. A big value of resistance results in a small flow, because if we've got a lot of resistance, that's going to be in opposition to the flow. The physical size of the resistor itself is not equal to the value, so there's no sense in which physically large resistors have a large resistance. As we saw earlier, radically different values can be produced in the same size of resistor. All of these values are measured in ohms, for which we use this symbol. And lastly, the color code on the side of the resistor is how we work out, how we tell what the value of the resistance is. These things are too small to actually print it on with any sort of number system, so we just put these colored bands on, and that tells the user what the value of the resistance is. So in the next video we'll take a look at how to interpret that color code. So check out our next video, which will give you everything you need to know about how to work out the value of resistances from the color codes.